The following presentation was recorded live in Las Vegas, Nevada for the 27th Annual International Association of Square Dance Callers. This is tape 21, Voice 4.
Okay, this afternoon we've got 4 people signed up that they'd like to get some critique time. There's enough spaces so that there could be 6 folk if you want it to be so. So if there's anybody that's got a record, wants to get a chance to be coached, we're going to get Rich up here right away. He was going to be there on the docket this morning, and he couldn't get his equipment to work any better than I just did.
Okay, this is Rich Gearman, California. I'm going to do Collija. Circle left. Collija was a wooden Indian standing over by the door. He fell in love with a Choctaw maid over at Georgia's store. Collija left Alabama in that corner, weave the ring. I'm singing poor old Collija, he never let it show. Does Sador hoss and promenade and go? Is it any wonder that his face was red? Collija, that poor wooden head. And now those heads laid to the right, circle up 4 out there tonight. Bust out, make a line of 4, move up to the middle, and you come right back. Now touch 1 quarter, all 8, circulate. Boys run right, get a right and left through, turn that girl tonight, square through, but on the 3rd hand, swing through. Boys trade, the girls turn back and you promenade. Is it any wonder that his face was red? Collija, that poor wooden head.
First and foremost, it's easy to understand you. Very good with your choreography, very clear when he sings. But there's some parts of the song where he really wants to turn loose and sing, and in those moments you're not as melodious and as powerful as you'd like to be. You can feel yourself having to push your voice out some, can't you? Yeah, and that's what we're going to work on a little bit. The whole issue of making sound has to do with that principle that I talked about in my first session, having to do with the Bernoulli effect. Are you familiar with that at all? All right, so what's happening to you is that you don't have enough breath moving to trigger that Bernoulli principle, and so the muscles that are in your voice box are having to compensate by making the throat small. And then whatever air is coming up then has to go through a higher degree of pressure to break itself through. So your singing feels pressurized. Is that an accurate statement? Do you feel pressurized in your singing?
Sometimes.
Particularly when you're trying to project. In normal conversation, not a whole lot of trouble. But if you were to change that pattern and get more breath moving, you'd find that your voice would be freer and that the opening up to the top would be more dramatic. So let's just start with the whole principle of breath, shall we?
Okay.
All right. First and foremost, do you have a poem memorized, or do you have anything that you could recite to us?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to recite it in your normal voice.
'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome rats outgrabe.
Can you hear that at the ends of phrases there's a sort of a gravel that comes? That's an indication of an insufficient amount of breath flow. Now imagine that you're going to do that same thing again, but instead of pushing it through like that, you're going to sigh it through like that.
'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome rats outgrabe. Beware the jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the jub-jub bird, and shun the frumious bandersnatch.
Immediately there was a change to the better, in my estimation. But one spot that's troubling you is in the very first sound that you make in every breath group. You have a tendency to close your vocal cords and then apply the breath to it. So right at the very beginning, instead of going huh, huh, where you get that closure in your vocal cords and then you put breath pressure to it, rather go ha, ha, that kind of.
'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome rats outgrabe.
Can you tell any difference in that, in other than the fact that you're moving a lot more air?
A little bit.
Well, what do you sense?
It sounds a little bit more uniform.
It is more uniform. It's also more mellifluous. It's got more color to it. You may not be able to perceive that. Is that correct? It just feels a little looser in your throat, doesn't it? Maybe a little less under control.
Yeah.
That is the emotional dilemma, is that when you start moving air, that controlling contraction is no longer effective, and you have to find some other way to tell where you are in your scale. Okay, so that's the first and foremost thing. The second thing is postural. You're one of these multitudes that don't like to stand up straight and talk. So can you push up against my hand? Keep your neck long. It can be longer yet. Tip your head forward. There, now push back until you're standing erect. Now, in this position, Rich is standing with correct posture. Before, return to your normal posture. He tips farther forward, and his head actually shortens a little this way, so that he rides with his chin high, just ever so slightly, and gets a steady gaze that way. As soon as the neck goes long, return to the old, now the weight on his feet changes, and he has to push back. Now you feel a little bit like you're looking at the floor, don't you, that your head's not really fully erect?
Well, I feel like I'm about to fall over backwards.
Okay, now find your balance. Now, don't change that, but just now move forward. Rock forward until it's too far forward, and rock back until it's too far back. Now find the middle ground in there. Okay, now you're tall. Now that your neck is not as constricted as it was here. There's a little bit of a curvature right there, as a matter of fact, fairly significant. Take that point in your skull. I've got a little knot. Everybody's got a knot right at the base of their skull. And the vertebrae at the top of your shoulders. Stretch those as far apart as you can. Can you do any more? Tip your head forward. Stretch that segment. Okay? Now, without shrinking that distance, stand up erect. Oop, 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 oop. You're going to have to do it with your torso. Almost. Now watch here on me. I'll show you how to do it. Here's a normal posture. You see it's sort of crimped here in the back of your neck? Stretch those things long. Now I'm looking at the floor. Then I adjust my torso into an erect posture. All right, let's see. It's not just rocking back up on your heels. It's the whole issue of allowing this to happen. Okay. Yeah, the chest has to be high. Okay. That's actually very good. Can you walk and do that at the same time? That's very good. As he walks to the back of the hall, even just that short distance, and there's a tendency to want to let your head return to the normal, comfortable position. Right? That's actually very good. That's going to do a lot in terms of how his voice lines up with his chest cavity, where he can get some more resonance, and how his voice box will stand in his throat as a result of being in that erect posture. So now we've got two things that you're looking at. One is the breath flow, and the other one is an erect posture. There's a third element, but let's just try those two to begin with, okay?
Okay.
You hear what I just did? All right. Okay.
Circle left. Elijah was a wooden Indian standing over by the door. He fell in love with a Choctaw maid over at Georgia Score. Elijah left Alabama in that corner, weave the ring.
What did you think?
Felt different. I don't know if I can put my finger on it. It felt different.
Okay, well, we'll come back to that in a second. What did you guys hear? Out in the room, did you hear anything different? Beg your pardon? Pinched. It wasn't as pinched. It was more mellow. Yeah. Much more melodic, more connected together. All of that comes from the result of the breath flow. You may be interested to know that part of what happens with volume in your voice is that as your vocal cords are closed and then the air that builds up underneath them is sufficient to part them, if the vocal folds are relaxed, they will spring farther apart than if they're tense. And as they spring further apart, a more vigorous or a bigger burst of air escapes through, hence more volume. And a voice box that's kind of tight, there will be a parting. The vocal cords will come apart, but because they're kind of tense, they will only go part way apart, and then they'll snap back closed again, and very little amount of air passes through. So somebody's working very hard, but they're getting very little volume for the effort that they're expending. So this notion of easiness in the throat, passivity almost, and high vigor of breath will go a long way to assisting in projectability without having to sing any harder. If anything, singing easier. There are two hands, first here and then back.
I could understand all of the lyrics, which I could not get before.
All of the lyrics were more intelligible because of those things. Because this whole part, the throat and the mouth, were more at ease and more flexible. Comment at the back.
Yes, the tone was better, more melodic, and he didn't have any facial features when he went to the high note.
No contortions in his face, no tensions, although maybe we'll say there's still some, but there were less than before, less tension in his face.
That I noticed. I didn't have to work as hard for the high note.
Now do that again with some air moving.
I didn't have to work as hard for the high note.
You notice that it took him about 3 syllables before he figured out that he didn't have enough air moving. That's a significant habit for you. And the movement of air is a complete paradigm shift away from pressing your voice into existence to letting it flow into existence. And that's going to be a really significant thing. And so challenging to overcome that it's worth going back and forth. So as I've done in the earlier part of the day, I'd like to have you start, and the first phrase I'd like to have you flow it out. The second phrase, pinch it off into your normal position, then flow it out, pinch it off. See if you can identify in your own singing the polarities that you're looking at.
Circle left. Elijah was a wooden Indian standing over by the door. He fell in love with a chopped tomato over at George's store. Elijah, left Alabama in that corner weave the ring. Poor old Elijah, he never let it show. To side door, horse and promenade and go. Is it any wonder that his face was red? Elijah, that poor wooden head.
Now, laid one against the other, it's really obvious to tell, isn't it? And it's really obvious to tell in your own body, not just your ears, but in your body. And that's the beginning of ownership for you. If you can tell this is one way and that's another way, and I like this and I don't like that, and I know the difference between them, then you're in a freedom to choose. But failing to have that distinction, you'll find yourself slipping back into your old habit immediately. 2 days from now, it will be as if you've never had this session. So my advice to you in your own practicing, it's not a singer's practicing in terms of a vocal exercise, but one of the things that you can do is every time you put a record on over the next little while and you're practicing, juxtapose those two. Flowing breath, pinched breath, flowing breath, pinched breath, until you're so sure of what you're doing that you can choose. And if you start your practicing that way, immediately you'll get it. And if every time you do it over the next several months, the very first thing that you do at the dance is you sing a pinched and a flowing, and you say, okay, now I remember what that is. Now I stay flowing the rest of the way. You'll be able to capture that much, much more readily than if you don't do that kind of juxtaposition. I mean, the way you own it. Now, the other thing I'm going to ask him to do is open his mouth more, particularly on Kalijah, Kalijah. It's Kalijah. It's really small in your throat. So, can you just sigh? So that's the feeling of sigh. So sing Kalijah.
Kalijah.
Now do the old way.
Kalijah. Kalijah.
I vote for that, don't you? Yeah. And that needs to be true all the way through. There is one other thing for you, and things that those of you that have trouble with breath flow can do. And that's the lip bump. Remember I showed you how to do that the other day?
I wasn't here.
Now you know buzz. That's a dead giveaway that you don't use enough breath. What happens with your lips? Now, part your lips by about an eighth or a quarter of an inch. Okay? And then just go. Took a while, but in it. What happens is he doesn't hit the minimum threshold to trigger that Bernoulli principle. How many of you don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about the Bernoulli effect? The Bernoulli effect is just simply that when air is in motion, it creates suction. So as air is moving quickly between two objects, like two vocal folds, or two lips, or two pieces of paper, and they can move quickly through there, it'll have a tendency to suck them together. So if I part my lips like this, I guess about as wide as my finger is, if you get a vigorous enough stream of air, you will create that suction if you start your lips into vibration. Now, you'll notice that as he gets started, Rich will have enough air to get it started, and he'll go up a phrase, or he'll come to the end of the phrase, and his lips will quit buzzing. Dead giveaway that in that moment, your breath has stopped, even though you don't realize it. Now, start the song again, and this time, instead of singing the words, buzz your lips while you're singing. Rest my case. You saw what happened on the high note? He's so habituated to pinching down his throat and then pushing too little amount of air through that it creates tension in his sound. Not just because his jaw is tight, but because there isn't enough air to move it initially. Now, see if you can do Elijah. Almost. You got through the high note. Now, Elijah, with that much air.
Elijah.
That's a lot more breath than you're used to, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now open your mouth.
Elijah.
Okay, I rest my case. Nice job, Rich. That's it. So, Rich, as you're walking away, what are the things that you got out of this little momentary session?
More air.
Okay, that's one of the subjects. Posture. And then the other? Yeah, so there are three things. Move more air, stand up taller, and relax your jaw. Now, your jaw will gradually start to relax itself more as you get more air. One of the reasons that Rich's jaw is as stiff as it is because he feels a weakness in his voice box, and so all of the muscles in the neighborhood stiffen up to try to create a sense of stability. When in the process of trying to create stability, they just create blockage. But they'll get out of the way as soon as they're confident that you've got enough air moving. Okay, Patty, you're up next. I'm asking each person to identify, where possible, those issues that are important to them, so that it isn't just I jump on whatever I hear, but I'm listening specifically. When you say open season, that means nothing specific, just have at you. All right.
I'm a brave woman and I have broad shoulders. Yeah, no shoes. Patty Green from Salem, New Hampshire, and this is That's Life. Hopefully. Circle left, that's life. Oh, that's what they say. You're riding high in April and you're shot down in May. Do an element left your corner, turn your partner by the right, then stop by the left one time around. Tonight you go, turn your partner right, do an element left, come back and promenade. You get a walk in that set, 'cause I know I'm gonna change my tune when I get on top in June.
It's friendly, it's easy to hear. There's some things that we can do to make it better yet. I noticed that on that very last of that passage that you were singing. That's where you feel the most vulnerable, is you have to go up into that high voice, and you feel the register shift, and it doesn't feel as powerful or as grounded. But you know what? You did it really well. There are a couple of things that I want to suggest to you. They're not so terribly different than the things I've said heretofore. One of the things that I think it's just nerves, but you're like a turtle. Your neck is down, shrunk in like this. Well, it ought not to be normal. That isn't truly normal. That's abnormal that you've just gotten to used to calling normal. This woman actually has a neck, if you believe it or not. But the muscles of her shoulders, you live your life in a perpetual shrug, don't you? Now everybody just raise your shoulders up towards your ears. That's Patty all the time. Now, and if you've just got your hand on her shoulder, on her back here, I wish I had those muscles on my biceps, I can tell you that. Those are strong right across the back of her shoulder. Is that right? You probably spend every night some time working on that part. You should. Absolutely.
It's already beneficial.
What?
The session is already beneficial.
All right, yeah. No, that's really true. This whole set right through here is very, very stiff, to the point where it's hard to tell where the bone starts and the muscle leaves off. It's very strong, tight, perpetual muscles, right, from running from that point, run that vertebrae down to that shoulder blade right there, and right there. And you notice that this isn't something that she likes very much. It's so tight that just, ooh, there's a nice one right there. Why is this significant? Because all of these muscles that join at the back of the neck have a bearing on what happens at the front of the neck. The postural muscles that hold the head in a certain erect position have a bearing on where the larynx sits in the throat, and when muscles at the back of the neck are tight, there's going to be a tendency toward muscles in the front of the neck to be tight. And I detect a certain amount of tightness in your singing. There's a whole bunch of ways to go at releasing tension. One of them is the one that I tried with Rich, which is to get more air moving, and you could do that. But I don't think that's you heard that, and you can incorporate the same sort of things that he tried. Now what I'd like to do, she is right on the verge of having vibrato in her voice, but it's a straight tone right now. It's a held tone. So I want to try a little exercise with you. I'm going to demonstrate it, then I want you to try it. Can you make vibrato in your voice?
Sure.
Okay. I want you to do this. I'll do it once, then I'll have you do it. Start with a vibrato tone. And then I want you to straighten it like this. So it comes in and comes out. So you can see what it is that you do to get it to come in and out. What's the difference between those two? Not very much, but there is a difference between them. What did you do?
I smile my cheeks.
Okay, that isn't the answer.
But no, inside.
Inside, when you have vibrato, it's more open. Yeah, now watch what happens. Now I'm going to tell you where to look. Right down through here. Watch and see what happens to yourself between when you have vibrato and where you have straight tone. No, that's all right, because I can't either. And now I know why. Yeah, you feel those muscles under your chin? These are, I told you that if there was tightness in the back, there's likely to be tightness in the front. Is that muscle tight? Tongue muscle tight? Feel underneath my chin. There's nothing there. Yeah, except a double chin. Yeah, letting go right there. And one of the reasons that you don't have vibrato is that feel here, right underneath my tongue. You can feel it loose, and you can feel me tighten it down. Now listen. It's right in that neighborhood that things clamp up on you. Now, can you sigh for me just a second? You were supposed to do that when I was rubbing your shoulders, but you didn't. Okay, so, oh. Now, would you sing again? Do you feel what that sigh feels like? She's not actually needing to move more breath. She's needing to unblock her throat so that the breath that's there can get out. Can you sense what that sigh feels like? Now, will you sing it that way? I'm going to ask you to do just like I did with Rich. Start with that sighing sensation.
Circle left, that's life. Oh, that's what they say. You're riding high in April and you're shot down in May. Alamander corner, turn your partner by the right. Then stop by the left one time around tonight. Swing your partner round and go. Promenade, get walking around. 'Cause I know I'm gonna change my tune when I get on top in June.
Okay, stop there to record if you will, please. You could feel the difference between those, couldn't you? You could hear the difference between them. The one is much more melodious, much more easy to listen to, and actually this is an easy listening recording, isn't it? Therefore, you would want to incorporate that kind of easy, natural sound to it. Okay, so that's one thing, and you can feel the difference between those. I vote for the more sighing approach to that. But you'll, just like Rich, you'll have to go back and forth until you can figure out the difference between those two things. Now, I'm going to ask you to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to ask you to chew. You know, the drill that we did earlier in the day? And the reason is, that as I felt this tightness in her tongue, the tongue is most at its natural state when it's chewing, helping to chew and swallow. And that's what that little chewing thing is supposed to do. Yum, 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 yum. And you'll discover that when you do that, all of a sudden your singing isn't as effortful, it just is easier. And easy is what I'm after for you.
We like easy. Circle left, yum yum, yum 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 yum, yum 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 yum, yum 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 yum, yum 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 yum. Circle left, yum yum, yum 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 yum. Riding high in April and you're shot down in May. Yum 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 yum, yum yum, yum 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 yum. Turn your partner by the right. Swing your partner promenader tonight. 'Cause I know I'm gonna change my tune when I get on top in June.
I like that a lot. It sounds friendly, sounds easy, sounds natural. There's only one other thing. Can I have your hand for a second? As she starts to chew this thing, it's easy to start bringing the resonances up. And that's okay, and it's very good that you're doing, but you don't want to disconnect from down there, okay? And sometimes you do. So as you do the same thing again, just keep that little buzziness that's under that. Can you feel it? Count to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Start singing.
That's life. Oh, that's what they say. You're riding high in April and you're shot down in May.
You got it. You got it. You got it. You want to just keep the vibration up there one more time the same way?
That's life. Oh, that's what they say. You're riding high in April and you're shot down in May.
Now we're going to do it one more time this time too.
Yum yum. Yum 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 yum.
Go ahead.
Yum 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 yum. 'Cause I know I'm gonna gonna change my tune when I get on top in June.
Now you tell me what you feel out of that. Obviously, you agree with me that combines all of those things, right? But what's your sense of it?
Well, this is going to sound strange, but it feels a little weaker. No, it may not sound weaker, but on my end, it feels right. Maybe it's the less effort.
I need somebody to hold the microphone here for a second. Now you're going to do this again. I want you to hear what you sound like. This microphone is now for the tape, not for the projection. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get this. You don't know what you. Giving her any sense of falseness. But the grounding that you get here into your sternum will make sure that your vocal cords are meeting and are thick enough so that they can be strengthened. But the chewing element brings the upper sort of whiny, squealy quality into your voice. And so you get both the woofer and the tweeter happening at once. And as a result, you get a really nice sound. Let's go there and just let you sing. I'm going to do this into your ears.
Circle left, that's life. Oh, that's what they say. You're riding high in April and you're shot down in May. Do an element left your corner, turn your partner by the right, then stop by the left. One time around you go tonight. Swing your partner round and round. You keep her promenade, go walk in that town. 'Cause I know I'm gonna change my tune when I get on top in June.
I don't know if you could tell that, but as she was doing that, little twitches of vibrato started to creep in there, and then they'd go away, and she'd sort of control, and then she'd let it go again, and the vibrato would start to creep in there. And when you're dealing with an easy listening tune like this, that nice, easy vibrato is very much to be desired. That's a good job. Now, what are you going to go away to do?
I have a neck.
You do. I'm sure your husband would be really glad if you showed it to him. Yeah. No, what I mean by that is just let him know that there's something there that he can get a hold of there. And then you know what your assignment is here concerning these shoulders. Right? Then the next thing. Sigh. Yeah. And then the third thing? Ground. Ground into your body. And the last one is to let the chewing release your jaw and your tongue so that they're not stiff trying to hold the tone. That's a lot of things to keep track of. But it isn't that you need to make a laundry list of all of these 4 things that she needs to do. Rather, what you need to do is to say, it feels this way when I do those 4 things, holistically, and it feels this way when I don't do them, and I choose to do them. Okay? Thank you very much. All right, let's see who's next. Carrie.
All right. The music that I have chosen to do this with is a song that I just recorded not long ago, and it was keyed in a range that felt out of my range. So when I went into the studio, high, way high. So in the studio we overdubbed every time I said the word tonight. So you'll see what I mean here, I think. Circle left. Tonight, the heart aches on me, on me. Well, the boys start right and roll it one time around. Left Alamander corner, weave that town. Bartender, pour the wine. You swing your road and promenade tonight. The heart aches on me.
Now that is a breaky heart song that needs to have country sounds to it. There's no doubt about it. But you've got pure country belt going on in your voice right now. And that's the reason that you can't find your way out of the basement. The style that she's singing right now is commonly called belting. Belting for many women is to drop it down into your chest and then raise your larynx, and so it kind of feels whiny, and it has a screech at the end, and occasionally the voice will break. And it's designed on purpose to create that sadness. It's right, but it doesn't have to be that way. Now, I'm not going to turn you into a classicist by any means. You keep that style, but there's another side to your voice that's missing. You're kind of driving down the freeway in first gear. Now, do you think what that means? You drive stick shift at all? Mm-hmm. All right, you know, you get up about 15 miles an hour, and if you're not shifting by 20, it's letting you know it. And you get up to 40 miles an hour, and you're thinking, this car's going to fall apart any moment. Yeah, exactly right. Well, that's kind of what's happening right here in your voice box. This is the gearbox, and that's exactly what it feels like, doesn't it? For women who sing exclusively in their chest voice, there is a point right about B natural in the scale. That's right in the middle of the normal human singing scale, where she can't go any higher than that. Or else she flips over into a quasi-falsetto kind of a voice, which you can't do in this song. But what we're going to try to do is to access that other sound. The technique that I've used already twice today is to chew. So will you do this for me? Yum, 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 yum.
Yum, 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 yum,
Yum, yum, yum, yum, yum, yum, yum. Yum, 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 yum.
Yum, 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 yum.
I'm higher than you are. Can you tell?
Yeah.
Yum, yum, yum.
Yum, yum, yum.
That's right. And you notice that she does it and immediately yodels away from it because it's foreign to her. You gentlemen, there's many of you that are exactly the same as she is. But it's there, it's just unused. So, yum, 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 yum.
Yum, 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 yum.
Yum, 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 yum.
Yum, 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 yum,
That's exactly
yum.
right. Now do it some more.
Yum, 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 yum.
Now what are the words that you say?
Tonight, the heart aches on me.
Now sing that, but with that sensation.
Tonight, the heart aches on me.
Keep going.
Well, I think I'm singing in a key lower
Well,
than the
let's
record.
get it in the right key.
Okay.
But you got that sensation? Just for the sake of it, I'm going to have you chew that thing for a while.
Okay,
Yeah?
that'll be good.
Kind of get that feeling.
Okay.
You all know what happened. The gentlemen were going way much higher than they thought they were, with no strain in their voices. And it had to do with just learning how to adjust that gear in your throat. And you don't adjust it by actually pushing in the clutch and dropping the shift lever. It's more of a sensation. It's more of an automatic transmission. There's just a point in your voice where if it's free and easy, it'll roll over on you and move into that new place. But it won't move there if you won't let it. If you're afraid of it or you don't know what to expect, you'll start to go there, and psychologically, this is what I saw you do that about 3 times. Psychologically, it starts to go there, and you say, oops, I can't go there, and you drop back out of there. And then you were stuck, and you can't go any faster. You can't go any higher. There's like a lid. And so here you go. Chew.
Yum, 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 yum.
Keep going.
Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum.
Now put words to it.
Tonight the heart aches on me, on me. Well, the boys star right roll it one time around. Left Alamanger corner, weave that town. Bartender, pour the wine, 'cause the hurtin's all mine. Tonight the heart aches on me.
Yeah, I rest my case. See what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Without them saying a peep to you, you know that that's not too high for you.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Not at all.
You just had to fight it. Does that sound any less achy breaky? I don't think so. I mean, she got access to the notes, sure enough. But style-wise, if she wanted to get rid of that sort of twiny sound, the way she'd do it would be to open her mouth and get a little more space in the back of her mouth. But she don't want to do that because this is a true Western song that needs that kind of twang to it. Now put the tune on with the music and just get used to it. Now, before you put it on, talk to them about the differences in how your body feels when you do it this way as compared to your normal way. As a matter of fact, go back and do your normal way.
Okay. With or without?
Without.
Okay. Tonight the heart aches on me.
All the energy is your jawbone and down into your throat and down into your chest, right?
Right.
Now do the new way.
Tonight the heart aches on me.
Where is it?
It's like
There.
in here.
And anywhere else?
It's like everywhere. It's moved all around.
It's moved. It's not localized and held. It just kind of goes where it goes.
Right.
And the higher you go, it sort of migrates on up in toward the lower side of your cheekbones.
Yeah.
In your nose a little bit. It feels a little bit on your nose.
Right.
Makes your eyeballs buzz just a little bit.
Yeah.
Hadn't thought about that.
I
Boy,
hadn't
sometimes
thought.
when I sing a high note, it's like my eyeball, this glass eye is going to just drop out of Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is to really perform the tune.
Okay.
But you know the sensation you're looking for now, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Circle left. Tonight the heart aches on me, on me. Well, the boys star right and roll it one time around. Left Alamanger corner, weave that town. Bartender, pour the wine. You swing your girl around and promenade that ring tonight. The heart aches on me.
I think that's good. Now,
Wow.
you say you just recorded this?
Yes.
I think you ought to go back and re-record it.
Yeah, I do too.
There's no doubt about it in
Yeah.
my mind. You see how much easier that is to do. So much easier. But,
Yeah.
excuse me, I'm going off microphone for just a second. this. I'm going to whisper in her ear something that a lady voice teacher once said to another young lady who was taking a lesson. Now see if they know what they're talking about.
Okay. You want me to repeat what you said?
No. But by
The heartaches on me, on me. Well, the boys start right and roll it one time around. This is much easier. Da 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 da. Bartender, pour the wine. You swing your girl around and promenade that break tonight. The heartaches on me.
Kind of a low mantle, but other than yeah, that's right. Okay, very nice. Now, if she'll just get her posture going the right way, and that was related to what I whispered in her ear, then she'll have that ease. Now, what you need to do, you notice this last time I had asked her to do something different, and it was harder for her to hold on to that chewing sound, and so it was a little more effort than, and you didn't know it because you were busy trying to do some other task. Yeah. But I would think that if you were to spend some time just taking the song and doing that little chewing drill on the notes itself, pretty soon you're going to be really comfortable with that sound. Now that she produced, that moved up into that range, is the traditional mixed voice. That's not a head voice at all. That's a mixed voice. It's good and strong, great for use in all square dance calling. Men and women, that mixed voice projects well, has enough upper frequencies to be pleasant to listen to, enough low frequencies in it to be commanding. And I think you ought to re-record it. Sounds terrific. Thank you. Okay, Tom. It's looking to me, well, we'll see, maybe Tom will have some significant challenges, but it looks to me like there may be room for one more person in this hour if somebody's interested.
My name's Tom. Anyway, I'm from Tucson. Tom Chris. I really didn't want to tell, but I'm going to just kind of do what I normally always do. I'm trying to think of all the things you've talked about and try to incorporate them, but I'll just be me and see where I need the most help. This isn't even my record. Circle left when you're smiling, keep on smiling, and the whole world smiles with you. Alamana left your corner, girl, come back at Osado, the men star left, you know. Turn the partner by the right, hey, the corner, Alamanda, come back, swing your girl and promenade that land. When you're smiling, keep on smiling, and the whole world smiles with you.
They may smile, but they're not going to sing. Okay, now the first and foremost thing that I want to say is your voice is really. What is it? Is square dance callers all spend their time with their backs tight? My gosh, there's another one that's got you got a lot of tension back through there, and as that happens, do you have a neck in there?
I think so.
When's the last time you did any necking? Nobody, quite a long time. Nobody can find it. That was my point that I was making to you. He knew. All right, so.
What are you most helping in that?
Well, no, that's where we're starting. Okay. Just try to get loose there, because the tightness back through the back of the neck causes a crimping in the neck that creates trouble in the larynx.
Well, I could fool you, but I couldn't.
No. Now, the first thing that I'd say is that, it's Tom, right? Tom, the first thing that I'd say about Tom is that he has an easy sounding voice. It's gentle. It's almost a little sandy, or a little, this kind of a sound, rather than this kind of a sound. You hear the difference between it when I do it? Can you do what I do? Can you make this as compared to this, so that it's got a kind of a ringing quality to it?
Instead of this, or just more volume,
no,
or
he just did it. Do it again. Now do the old.
this,
and the new.
this. Sounds like I'm just making more volume.
Actually, there is more volume.
Volume.
But I don't think volume. No, that's not what you're looking for. This.
This.
Now swallow. Hold it tight. Now release it. Right here at the top of your larynx, right there, is this feeling of letting go. Now just pour air through there and see what happens.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And now do that with some volume.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1,
2, 3. Would you be a happen to not like to make loud sounds?
Well, I hope the microphone helps me a little bit.
You know, the microphone only magnifies what you produce. And if you produce a sound that is gentle, non-assertive, non-aggressive, then the microphone will just simply amplify that non-aggression. And to be commanding, you need a little bit more chesty quality in your tone.
Okay.
Start your engine. Again. That's right.
When.
Can you feel it vibrate on your chest here, right there? Feel it. Feel it vibrate a little bit. That's
Yeah.
Go to your normal thing.
When you're smiling, keep on smiling,
There's not much
and
there.
the whole world, yeah.
Now intensify that.
When you're smiling, keep on smiling, and the whole world smiles with you.
Very good. Now the next thing I'm going to do is open up your mouth. Let some sound out.
When you're smiling, keep on smiling, and the whole world smiles with you. Turn that recorder.
Even though they don't know what the devil you're saying, they're smiling for a different reason. That guy's an idiot up there. Now, what I'm doing by trying to is just to let go of that tightness. Can you put your hand there? It's like a bobber on a fishing line. When it tightens, you can feel it. Just let it hang loose. When your mouth's open, it's loose. When your mouth is on its way to close, it's loose. Right? But it's not stiff.
I see everybody going.
Yeah. Now we need another hand up here.
When.
No, it isn't like this, Tom. When you're smiling,
When you're smiling, keep on smiling, and the whole world smiles with you.
You go. Now, go.
When you're smiling, keep on smiling, and the whole world smiles with you. Keep on laughing. And I don't know the words of this song. Boy, you really jammed it in there, didn't you?
Yeah. Only thing that makes me worry is that somebody might have a partial plate back there, and I push on it, and it just keeps right on going on in. Now, let's put your music on.
Okay. So what are we looking at here?
Trying to
open the mouth.
Jaw, and then
Stand
the other
up.
one is you need a little bit more energy here. This way compared to
Ah.
this way. The
More.
heavy mechanism there is the light mechanism. This guy is a lightweight. I was waiting for see what I mean?
Circle left. When you're smiling, keep on smiling, and the whole world smiles with you. Keep on laughing, and keep on laughing, and the whole world smiles with you. Well, this is not there.
Truthfully, I don't care.
Neither
On
do
the
I.
long note, he's got it. On the short note, he doesn't got it at all. So this is a place where you track yourself. When you say,
short note.
keep on smiling, 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 just keep on moving it on now.
I see. Next. I knew this was risque, and I Circle left. Keep on smiling, and the whole world smiles with you. Keep on laughing, and keep laughing, and the whole world smiles with you. Left Island man, you don't see you're gone. Me and the star left, go once around and then turn a partner right. Left Island man, promenade, short trip home when you're there.
Did you dance to that?
No. We're working on something different.
That's really the truth, and that had nothing to do with choreography. The thing that I thought was most significant is that when you got up into there, you had as much of that energy as when you were down there. As a matter of fact, it's better there. The whole world smiles with you.
You're right.
Whole world smiles with you.
The whole world smiles with you.
Yeah, now, whole world smiles with you. I just changed the key.
The whole world smiles with you.
Okay, now take my key. The whole world smiles with you.
The whole world smiles with you.
Bravo. The whole world smiles with you.
The whole world smiles with you. Keep on smiling.
Keep on smiling.
Keep on smiling. Keep on laughing.
Keep on smiling.
Keep on smiling. Keep on smiling. And what do you
like?
like?
Help you track that energy there. What often happens is it gets on the long note, and he'll find it. And in the first note, he throws it away. Keep on smiling. Keep on smiling. Keep on smiling. Keep on smiling. And the whole world smiles with you.
Do you feel, when you sing, do you feel that is your normal voice or do you take it into a different...
I feel like it's more of my normal voice, more invigorated. In your case, this that I'm trying to get you to do doesn't feel like your normal voice.
I don't.
Because it's an element that's been missing in your voice for a while. He favors the light side of his voice, makes his calling very pleasant to listen to, but not particularly commanding. And as he gets more of a grounding in his body, it becomes more commanding, and it may even sound a little bit too aggressive for your taste. It does.
Doesn't sound like me at all.
Oh, it sounds, no, it still sounds like Tom. It just sounds like Tom's double that found his full anatomy.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. Thank you. Oh, yeah, it is, Les. And then Betty, you're up next. And we're just now passing on 2:30, which means that we'll probably have room for one more person if you want to grab a time for it. You got a record?
1, 2, 3.
No, Tom, that was actually very good. Very good.
In my case, I don't know what to look for, so just look for anything that might help me.
I thought he was going to say, in my case, I don't want to change.
Well, there's only a fool that doesn't want to change. I'm from the United States. Les Henkel from Nebraska. I was thinking of your song, Tom. Circle left. Well, let a smile be your umbrella on a rainy, rainy day. Left down a man that corner, walk back at Osado. Men star left that way. Turn the partner by the right, your corner, alley man. Come back, swing, promenade the land. Let a smile be your umbrella on a rainy, rainy day.
Are you by profession a dentist?
A dentist?
Yeah.
No, sir.
I just wondered because you got all these smile songs.
Well, it just happened to be that way.
Yeah. Actually, Les, I think you got a terrific voice. It's easy to listen to. There's no particular strain in it. It projects well enough. It has that central core of sound that I think is so essential to make a voice easy and commanding. But I don't think that this is a song that needs the twang that you have in it. This is something that he can put, I believe that he can put in and take out pretty much at will. And there are two ways to get at that. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to imagine what it feels like just before you yawn. Then I want you to sigh. Ah, through that space. No, not but ah.
Ah.
Ah. That sounds like something you do in the privacy of a room with the door locked. Now what I'm looking for is the sound that comes after that.
It's been so long.
Obviously, that didn't get where I wanted
No.
to go.
Ah.
Yeah. Now open your mouth.
Ah.
Good.
Ah.
Sing.
Sing. Let a smile be your umbrella on a rainy, rainy day.
Now that's the smallest movement in that direction, but already a significant change. Can you? Okay, you're asked for it.
Yeah.
Is there an opening there?
Not enough.
Open up, open up. All right, now you're for it.
Let a smile be your umbrella on a rainy, rainy day.
Now go back to the normal.
Let a smile be your umbrella. I'm not letting enough air through.
No. I think you're doing just fine, having to do with the way he uses his lungs up through his throat. But it's the resonance tube that he's not opening up because it's so small. His mouth is small, his tongue is here, and he gets this kind of a sound, and it sounds...
You want to go like this more?
No, you're doing just fine that way. But it's the difference between only having the tweeter on the stereo turned up and having the woofer hooked in too. And you got to have some space to do that. With you, that seems to be the significant issue. I want to emphasize that it isn't as simple as opening your mouth up. That's just one of the ways that you do it. There are some other ways. Would you do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thing that I've done?
1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, that sounds pretty normal for you.
I hope they don't catch us together.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's do this together.
All right.
Okay, that's not what you want. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's very close to his natural speaking voice. Now, the third position is right here by the edge of your eyes, and let all of the vibrations slip back inside your mouth till about the middle of your mouth. 1, 2,
3, 4, 5.
4.
1, 2, 3.
That's not any different. Let the resonance go all the way back in your mouth.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's what I'm looking for from you. Would you sing in a 4 position?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Now sing your song with that.
Let a smile be your umbrella on a rainy, rainy day.
I'm trying to think. Somewhere back in the 40s, there was a singer that sounded just like that. You know, it wasn't Bing Crosby, but Rudy Valley.
Who wrote the horn? Yeah, Rudy Valley. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, but it's got if you've only got the horn, somebody might misunderstand your motives. And if you've got a little bit of a space there, it'll be warmer and balanced.
Let a smile be your umbrella on a rainy, rainy day. Left alley man to come back, don't side of men star left, I say.
Notice that as you started out, there were a couple of moments you really got a hold of it, and then it moved back to the other one when it got higher.
Snuck the other way.
And when I know who it is that I'm listening for. That sounds like Dean Martin to mine. It sounds sounds like Dean Martin to my ear. But not when you go into that, then it sounds more like Jerry Lewis.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay.
Definitely Jerry Lewis.
Umbrella on a rainy, rainy day. Yeah, a hopeless case.
No. I still have a lot of hope. A little discouragement, but some hope too. I want you to do that again. I want you to go back and forth between the closed and the open, so you can tell the difference.
Let a smile be your umbrella on a rainy, rainy day. Left alley man, that corner, do-si-do. Men star left, I say.
Small.
Turn the partner by the right and the corner alley man.
Open.
Come back, swinging promenade. Let a smile be your umbrella on a rainy, rainy day.
I think that's terrific.
Whew.
Okay, Denny. Everybody put together the same kind of equipment.
Okay.
Meaning, everybody's got a wind machine. Some people's wind machines are stronger than others. Everybody has a vibrator box, and everybody has a resonance tube. And all of those things can be put together, and if we put together them right, no one in this room, no one in this world will sound exactly the same as anyone else in the world. Because there are subtle differences between all of us. And what we have to do is to learn to cultivate those sounds until they become the best that we can be. And therefore there's no value in comparing oneself to someone else. It's just, that's the best that my voice is. But all of us have basically the same equipment. And if a person can distinguish pitches, if one can hear the difference between high and low, eventually one can sing. There is no such thing as a non-singer. There are people who don't take the time to learn how to sing. There are very few people who are definitely and truly monotone. And those people are that way because they can't truly hear. Their ears cannot distinguish high and low. If you play notes on the piano, they can't hear the difference between them. Those are really the only people who cannot sing. From that point forward, some have more gifts than others, but all people are able to sing.
I'm Betty Churko. I'm from Northern California. I do mostly for senior citizens. Poor ladies promenade one time around that ring. Step back on, circle left. Join your hands, circle left, go moving round that line. Alaman left that corner, weave around the ring. Chicka-boom, chicka-boom. Don't you really love it? Chicka-boom, chicka-boom. Swing and promenade it. Chicka-boom, chicka-boom. Don't you really love it? Chicka-boom, chicka-boom, boom, boom.
You don't have the choreography that goes along with that chicka-boom, the shimmy shake?
No, but I could try.
I was all ready for that. Because it's in her voice. You know, her voice communicates that kind of happy quality. Her voice, her body is just as staid as the beat. Now, the first thing I'm going to ask you to do, there are a couple of things. First of all, let me say that I like your singing very much. It's an easy, natural voice. There are a couple of things we can do to improve upon it, I think. First thing is you can get to where you stand up straight. straighter. Now, at Betty's age, these postural things are deeply, deeply embedded. Most of the folks, not you, but most of the folks that have been up here, well, you know, those of you that are under, whatever.
Not senior citizens.
Yeah, postural issues are very, very difficult to change. Really, they're hard to change once you're 25. Your habits are so deeply ingrained, but they are possible to change. But what happens with people who get accustomed to that and remain there is that the body gradually moves to adopt the posture that you've lived all your life. The shoulders roll, the neck pinches forward, and from that point forward, it's very difficult. Let's see, I'm trying to think. It was Ian that was in here. I had him lay down on the floor trying to get him to stretch the muscles of his neck long. That's going to be a real significant challenge for Ian because he's lived so long that way that those muscles are hard to release. And I think that's probably going to be similar to you, Betty. I'm noticing right across here, the way that the upper part of your spine going into your neck is, you've been that way for a long, long time.
I've already got that dowager hump.
You know, would you like to get rid of it?
Oh, I'd love to.
Okay, well, let's do it. You know, she's now 2 inches taller.
Feel it.
That's right, and she sticks out where she's supposed to stick out.
Ooh. Don't know if I can hold it very long.
Can you walk? Now, come on, keep it stretched long. See, maybe I'm wrong. That's actually very good, Betty. But you know, you really do have to think about it, don't you? And Betty also has a neck. Everybody has a neck. All God's children got a neck. Okay, so it's long and tall. Ooh, that's nice. That's very good. Now, the other thing that I'm going to ask you to do is to open up your mouth more. Same dilemma. She's got a tune that is not twangy, should not have that natural twang in it. It should have the same kind of thing that you were just working on, Les. Needs to have more space. You saw what happened to Les's voice when he opened up his mouth a little bit more, right? That's what needs to happen with you as well. Now, with your neck long, can you still shimmy shake?
I can try.
Time out. That hurts a little bit, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, but that's okay. For 2 inches more, I'll take it.
Feel that? That doesn't feel so good, does it?
No, that's
Or else
painful.
it feels really good.
Actually, it's quite painful.
Yeah. That's because those muscles that are at the base of her skull are foreshortened, much in the way that ladies who used to wear those 4 and 5 inch spike heels that then take the heels off and their Achilles tendons had shortened down where they couldn't walk flat-footed anymore. That's what happened. That's one of the things that makes this mightily difficult to overcome. If it's of any consolation to you, when I was young I had polio. And I had polio in my back and in my spine, so I'm stiff through my hips area. And I spend every day about 20 minutes just stretching through there. And if I let 2 days go by, those muscles tighten right back down again. It's something that I really have to work at every day. And I would say the same thing to you, Betty.
Well, I know I've got some disc problems in my neck. So
you know what? I would bet you that as you do what I'm asking you to do, you'll have less disc trouble than if you don't do what I ask you to do.
Yeah.
So even if you don't sing another note in your life and you stand up tall, your back will lighten a lot. Okay, so now let's get some space between your molars. Oh, there you go. Immediately, if you were watching, the moment she made a sound with her voice, her neck returned to its normal posture because that's what she's familiar with in relationship to her singing. So where your work is to remain in that position and sing in that position. having to draw very much attention to the fact she now has her body lined up so that the resonances are starting to extend down into her whole body. And that's really, really important. You've all heard, maybe you've heard the discussion about what lady callers suffer from. When they get too on the upper side of their voices, it doesn't have enough command in it. And you're addressing that right straight off in terms of just posture. Nevertheless, this vibration underneath your sternum will be an indication that you've got more weight, more heavy mechanism in your singing. Can you sing? Sing light voice, chicka-boom, chicka-boom.
Chicka-boom, chicka-boom.
Nothing going on underneath here.
Don't you really love it?
Now do it again with some vigor.
Chicka-boom, chicka-boom. Don't you really love it? Chicka-boom, chicka-boom. Swinging promenader.
Yeah, that's what you call the ba-ba-boom of singing.
Circle left, go moving around the line. All in left your corner, weave around the line. Chicka-boom, chicka-boom. Don't you really love it? Chicka-boom, chicka-boom. Swing and promenade it. Chicka-boom, chicka-boom. Don't you really love it? Chicka-boom, chicka-boom, boom, boom.
Betty, that's terrific. What are you going to do to keep that going?
To make my neck about 2 inches longer.
That's so true. And then to keep energy here. Keep the sound grounded in your body. Now, like I've done with everybody else, if you'll indulge me, I'm going to ask you to go back and forth between the new sound and the old sound. New posture, old posture. So that you can get a basis of comparison.
You want me to start with the old one?
No, I want you to start with the new one.
Okay.
Okay, I lost my...
I won't ask you to change so frequently.
Okay, because I lose my words. I should know them by now. I've done it often enough.
Long and tall.
Okay. Four ladies promenade, go moving round that ring. Come on back, give your man a swing. Join your hands, circle left, go moving round the line. Down and left that corner, weave around the ring. Chicka-boom, chicka-boom. Don't you really love it? Chicka-boom, chicka-boom. Swing and promenade the chicka-boom, chicka-boom. Don't you really love it? Chicka-boom, chicka-boom, boom, boom.
Everybody in favor of the old? Everybody in favor of the new? Yes. Can you tell? Can you tell the difference between them? You bet I can hear it. Wonderful. Okay. Just get your name. Mary. Come on up. Confident Terry.
I went to that record just so I get something I knew.
You know, I get a kickback from the record companies to get people in here and they run out the
I've got the love for one lady very much just a moment ago because I learned to really love her. So.
And how did we know how to do that? What happened to Conv?
All her movements. Side space ran square, well down in a swamp. Late last night, my eyes they saw the strangest sight. Well, over in a clearing by an old canoe, I seen them all dancing 2 by 2, circle left, doing a Bigfoot stomp, lap down a man, come back and promenade, go down in a swamp for a good time romp. Everybody doing a Bigfoot stomp. Oh, I know I'm nervous.
Start to breathe again. First of all, he's got a very nice voice. It's got a nice balance back and forth. It's got plenty of command in it. It's got plenty of volume. In some cases, too much. That has to do with your mic position. But apart from that, it also has to do with the way that you deliver your breath, because you punch your breath. That, I was using the term earlier today, a declaimed or a declamatory style of singing, as if everything had an accent on it, and there's an exclamation point at the end of every comma. And you can imagine what that will do to the dancers. By the end of the third song, they will want to go out and take a downer.
Okay.
Wow. What's the guy on Kramer? Oh, Kramer's the guy.
Kramer.
Whoa. Yeah. Okay, so you want to simplify your life a little bit here.
Okay.
And one of the ways you can do it is to make sure that your breath stays more steady, so that it doesn't punch so much. Can you do this for me? Now do this. That's what you don't want to do.
Okay.
This is what you do want to do while your mouth is making all of those words. Now, without the record, just start your singing.
Well, down. Doing that already. Punching.
Yeah. But that powerful accenting thing may help dancers, but it may not.
Down in the swamp late last night, my eyes they saw the strangest sight. Well, over in a clearing by an old canoe, I seen 'em all dancing 2 by 2, circle left, doing the Bigfoot stomp, lap down a man, come back and promenade, well down in a swamp for a good time romp. Everybody doing a Bigfoot stomp.
Now, at that point, when you put that accent in there, it has a significant effect. But if you've been doing it forever, then it loses its effect. Let me take the microphone. I think some of you have heard me do this before, when everybody talks with the same level of accent on every single syllable and makes it so significant, pretty soon you don't hear anything anymore, because it is so peculiar that you don't want to hear, and pretty soon it irritates you.
Were you on tax day last year?
No.
One of the other things that I find with that, whatever it is, accenting the syllables, is you feel like people are shouting at you.
That's right. That's right. And I don't think you need to, because your voice is plenty strong to not have to do that. Now, with steady out your breath, that means that you don't put those accents on except where you choose to. Now, you chose to do it everywhere, so I can't give you your choice initially. But I think what you do is that you make the words tell you where the accents belong and not everything the same. Okay, that's the first statement. The second one has to do, again, with posture. I'm going to get you to turn sideways, and I want you to sing one more time. Now, I want them to see what's going on. The audience is now looking at Terry sideways, crossways.
Side space, grand square, pulled down in the swamp. Late last night, my eyes they saw the strangest sight. Well, over in a clearing by an old canoe, I seen 'em all dancing 2 by 2, circle left, doing the Bigfoot stomp, lap down a man, come back and promenade, walk down in a swamp for a good time romp. Everybody doing a Bigfoot stomp.
That's much more easy to listen to. But did you see what I was indicating to you? Well, tell him how much of a slouch he has. About About 3.5 to 4 inches. That's right. Can you find my hand? No. Keep your neck stretched long. Now find the back of my hand. Oop, 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 oop. Don't do it by adjusting your skull. Adjust your whole torso. Sort of. Now you do that to me. Put your hand kind of straight back like that. Now lay it right up against my shoulder. Like this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So stick your hand up so that it's right here at the back. There you are. Now move it back where it's sort of straight up in the air. Now watch. I can do this and find you, but that's not what I'm looking for. Here's what I'm looking for. See what I did? It wasn't just my head, was it? It was all the way from the upper part of my torso.
Okay.
Bingo. Now I didn't put you in the right place. Keep going. Keep coming. Oh, look at that. A new man.
Feel like Abraham Lincoln.
Should be worse. Yeah, but now get in that position. No, that's your head tip back. That's head long. There you go. Okay. That's nice. That's very good. Well, you don't think so, but I think it's terrific. I think.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Do this?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. Go for it, Terry.
Well, down in a swamp late last night, my eyes they saw the strangest sight. Well, over in a clearing by an old canoe, I seen 'em all dancing 2 by 2, circle left, doing the Bigfoot stomp. Left island man, come back and promenade. Well, down in a swamp for a good time romp, everybody doing the Bigfoot stomp.
I like that a lot. Could you hear the difference in that? Could you feel the difference in that?
Yeah.
Well, apart
Posture,
from the posture issue,
Yeah,
did you hear anything? Was there anything left in your concentration that could allow you to feel what you were singing like and what it sounded like?
More reverb that way?
Yeah, it's much more present.
Okay.
Put your record on. Now, can you go back and forth between right and wrong? Before and after?
Try it.
Here's after.
This is the after?
Side space, grand square, well, down in a swamp.
Well, you're supposed to start with the new.
With the new, okay.
You know, I was trying to pull that back.
Yeah. Well,
Long,
haven't got a toupee, so just keep
this,
doing it.
Not down like this, but up like this.
Side space, grand square, well, down in the swamp. Late last night, my eyes they saw the strangest sight. Well, over in a clearing by an old canoe, I seen 'em all dancing 2 by 2. Well, down in a swamp for a good time romp, everybody doing the Bigfoot stomp.
You notice that I threw something at you new this time. It's not just the opening of the mouth, it's the releasing of the tension in your jaw. And it's very closely related to the tension in the base of your skull, right there. Is that let's go and this let's go, then you'll have more flexibility. Right now, you've got enormous amounts of energy in your body. Kind of type A, ADD kind of energy. Terrific. But if you just ease off, then your singing will be that much easier for you. Okay. Very, very good. Thank you very much. Okay, folks, we're past time. I apologize for keeping you long. Are there any questions that you'd like to ask? This is going to be the conclusion of the voice seminars for this year. If there are any questions, this would be the time to ask them. If there aren't, thank you very much. You've been a good crowd.